I gave you 3 pencils today, an HB, a 4B, and a 4 or 5H. Take your HB, there we go. And we're just going to start with our HB. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide our paper generally in half. So our paper here is about 8 inches. So at the top I'm going to make a tick mark that's 4 inches. And at the bottom I'm going to make a tick mark that's 4 inches. And I'm going to connect them with a line. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the side. So this piece of paper on mine is 11, so half of 11 is 5.5. So I'll make a mark over here, come over here to 5.5, and then just connect those lines. So you can see I've done this before in other things we've done in class, and that's how you make a straight line. You measure on the left, you measure on the right, or you measure on the top and the bottom, and then you connect them. So we're going to do something different in each 4 of these. And we're going to zoom in this top left one right here. The first thing we're going to do is a cube. I'm going to draw about a 1.5 inch line in the middle. Like that. A 1.5 inch line in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to put my ruler at an angle like this, and I'm going to draw another 1.5 inch line back like this, and then I'm just going to keep that angle and just slide it up like that so that it's still at the same angle. And do another 1.5 inch line like that. So I just put it at an angle like that, drew that line, and then slid it at the same, slid it up. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. It doesn't have, if you're running into the side, just don't go that far. So 1.5 inches that way, just slide it on up. So it's parallel. We're creating parallel lines. And then we're going to connect those parallel lines with just a vertical line. A vertical line on that side. And a vertical line on that side. So if we were doing perspective drawing, we would be putting these to a vanishing point. We're not doing that today. We're just drawing a simple cube. Now, how do we get these back lines here? It's actually really simple if you'll watch first and then do. So I'm going to line up I'll use my measurement. I'm going to line up my ruler right here on that line, and again I'm just going to slide the ruler straight up, slide it straight up until somewhere the ruler meets here, and you can see that it's still parallel right here. So again, I'll do that again. Line the ruler up here on the line. And then I'm just going to go straight up with the ruler. Straight as I can go. Okay? And if I notice that it's not kind of parallel, I can fix it a little. And then draw a line going back, and I kind of just let it go off for this last, until I get this last line. I can always erase that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I think I'm going to move the ruler down a little bit so I have enough ruler. But I line it up here, and then I just push it up vertically, and I make sure it's parallel over here. And this is our practice, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But there we go. And I can erase this top part right there. And I have my cube, right, cube. Okay, so now we have our shape and we want to start drawing. So we need to have a light source, right? We need to have it where the light is shown. Okay, so for this, we're going to have the light source be over here. And you can make like a little sun, just a little one. And we're going to be labeling. So this is light source. A little arrow. So this is like a cube outside light source. And so if the light source is on the left, where might our shadows be? On the right. Okay? So it's exactly opposite. And I'll show you a little later in class what I mean by this, actually with light sources. Okay? So, the right side is going to be our darkest side here. Alright? And it's going to be the darkest right at this corner here. And then it's going to have a gradual transition to kind of a medium value over here. So what do you think, what pencil should I use right here? You're going to use the 4B right here. So find your 4B pencil. And you're going to start just like you did over here. Just like this. And we're going to use about this much of the gradient. So it's going to be a gradual transition or a gradual change in the value of the shading. So it's going to be the darkest right here. Remember, we're using the side of our pencil. We're building up layers of value. So I'm not pushing hard right now. And as I go farther away from this corner, it's going to get lighter. It's not going to be white over here. It's just going to be like from very dark to a little lighter. Go ahead and do that. And build up your layers. And when you get a few layers on, you can use your blending stuff to blend it all together. I would highly suggest you blend from light to dark. I'm going to take my eraser and make sure it's clean on an edge. That's a good edge. And I'm just going to rub it. See how it's flat like that? And just rub it along that edge before I do anything else. Now when you have all these eraser bits, if you go like this and move your hand across, you're going to smear it. So you kind of want to just tap it up like that. Okay, and then you can kind of just gently do that, but you really don't want to do too much of that. Okay, So what we just did, anybody know the name of that? This is the core shadow. So we're just going to draw a line out here and label, please label core shadow, cast shadow. Okay, and the cast shadow is going to be what this cube blocks the light source. Okay, so the cast shadow, I'm going to take my HB pencil and I'm just going to mirror this line here, but not completely parallel. Okay, so it's going to go kind of out like this. That's hard to see. And I'm kind of running in here, so I'm just going to stop at the line, and then it's going to be back here a little bit as well. So it's not at the corner, it's back here. So this is going to be our cast shadow, and right up against the form is going to be the darkest. So I'm going to take my 4B and I'm going to make it the darkest. And remember, right here should be a little bit lighter. So if I go over this a couple times, and it is also going to gradually transition the changing of value, okay? So you should still be able to see the bottom and the side here, because this is going to be really dark towards the form, and then gradually transition away from the form. So I'm putting lots of emphasis right up against where the form is. And then it's gradually getting lighter, and I can clean my blending stump, and I can use it over here first, do little circles, and then it gradually gets darker. Kind of fuzz out the edge, right? Because shadows are kind of fuzzy. Well, they can be crisp, but just kind of fuzzing out the edge a little. Kind of makes it a little more realistic. All right, and so this part here is called our cast shadow. So draw a line down here and write cast shadow. These words are going to become important in the future. You're going to need to label on your own and figure out on your own, okay? So this is our vocabulary. All right, the next one we're going to do is the highlight is going to be done with the 4 or 5H. 4 or 5H. Okay, and so that is the top part right here. And it's just a little bit of information, a little bit of visual information or value right here. And go both ways, both directions. Just a little bit. And really clean off your blending stump, right? What you do to clean off your blending stump is you put the point down and you just rub and then turn, and rub and turn. Okay, and you're just going to blend that all in really lightly. That's the highlight. This is with a 4 or 5H. So this part up here is called the highlight. We're just going to go like this and go highlight. That's where the light source is directly hitting it. And so it's very, very light. It still has a value, but very light. In the cube, this side right here, we just want to make it a medium value. Okay, so we're just going to take our HB, and we're just going to make a medium value, not as dark and not as light as either of those other sides. Okay, so using the side of your pencil, change directions. Make sure there's no little bits of eraser on there, because if they are, it's going to really mess up your drawing. I have a few that I need to get off. And this is in between the dark and the light. And you'll want to blend this in as well. And if you notice that now this side looks more like this side, that means that you need to grab your 4B pencil again and add some more darkness on this side. So you're kind of always gauging and adjusting, trying to make that side the darkest there. And this is also dark. Okay, we have 2 more things to do on this. The next one is the horizon line. And the horizon line is a line that makes a drawn object look like it's setting on a surface. When you draw a line behind your objects and not through them, it kind of anchors your objects to a surface such as a floor or a table. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our HB pencil, just a regular pencil, and we're going to go behind. So we're not going to draw on top of our cube. We did a nice job. We're not going to draw on top of it. But just above this here, we're going to draw a straight line. So I drew a straight line there, and then I'm going to skip the cube and draw a straight line there. These 2 lines here. And we're going to label that horizon line. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in the background to make the background look different than the foreground. And we're going to do a simple hatch. Okay, and what a hatch is where you draw some lines in one direction and then you draw them in another direction. Kind of I would do it at an angle. Okay, and this just kind of fills in the background information. You do not want to draw over your light source or over your cube. Okay, so I'm just going to start over in the background, not below the line, above the line. And I'm just going to start hatching. I'm not using a ruler. doesn't have to be perfect. And just putting in some kind of visual information to signify that that's the background. So I went one way, and then I'm just going to go the other way. Not pressing very hard with my HB pencil. I'm not going to blend this, and that's the background. I'm just going to draw a line and put background.